Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome back to In Living Campus, another episode of In Living Campus Season 6. Thank you as always to all our viewers for tuning in and joining us tonight for our live show. I hope all of you are having an amazing day and all of you are doing safe, doing fine wherever you are. So tonight, with the topic of becoming successful entrepreneurs, we brought to you a very amazing and special guest, not one, but two special guests with us tonight. Please welcome our very own Iron Man Malaysia, Brother Amin Idris, to our show, and our successful COO of Wow Cow Cow. Please welcome Sister Najda Zaidi. Welcome, guys.
Assalamualaikum.
Living Campus. Okay, salam. I hope you guys can join us on our studio, but this due to the pandemic, it will be online. I guess this is how it is. So thank you so much for joining us today. If I may ask, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, fine.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm doing awesome, Alhamdulillah.
That's great. Thank you so much. So Alhamdulillah, we will not waste no more time. I'm sure all of us are very excited to listen and to the sharing tonight from our guests. So shall we start? Ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's go. So Islam greatly encourages businesses because it directly contributes to the improvement of standard of living and providing worldly comforts to the mankind. The Prophet himself was involved in business and trade for a considerable period of time. He considered business as one of the activity that generate most income among the people. In one of the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad said, 9 out of 10 sources of livelihood are in business. So, the first question is for both Brother Amin and Sister Najda. Can you please share with us in great detail about your business? When was your business launched and how did you start? What is your business that you're having right now? Brother Amin?
All right. Thank you, Sister Dayang, and also Sister Najda. And to all viewers from IIUM TV, it is a great honor to be invited and to be the guest of this very awesome effort, because to me, I believe it's a good training for all of you, especially to prepare yourself for the world. Trust me, nowadays in the latest development of the broadcast industry, the social media is gradually taking the place of the mass media position. So this is a great training for you to understand the social media function, and nevertheless try to understand what are the function of the mass media and also to manage it. Regarding your question, my business, I started when I was during my final year, because maybe not all of you know that I have to extend more than a year in my study. I was suspended for almost 2 years in UIA. For what reason, I will share to you later. But believe me, it is not regarding to meniru dalam exam or so on and so forth, or memiliki VCD lucah. Tak. That's another reason. Why, I will tell you later on. But I was suspended for almost 2 years. Okay. By the way, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
All right. Okay. And to all viewers, I hope that you can hear my voice clearly. And please shout out where are you from and whether you can hear my voice and the panel and the host voice clearly. If you are from Ampang, you can say Ampang clear so that we know where you are from. Okay. Yeah. All right. When I was during my final year, I started to write books. Because when I was suspended for almost 2 years, my PTPTN was not only suspended, but it was stopped. So I have to get some money to pay for my tuition fee and also for my daily expenses, because my parents never know that I was suspended. So I have to do something to continue my study. So I started to do business by teaching mengaji and also home tuition to those outside UIA. So my target was during that time, I didn't go for Gomba or even nearby Gomba like Selayang, but my target audience are from Bandar Baru, Kota Damansara. I went to Bangsa, where my target was anak-anak orang kaya, so that I can charge more than usual. So I create a simple poster. During that time, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, even there was no Twitter. The only social media was, if you remember, MIRC. Korang tahu ke tak? I'm not sure, but it's a chatting platform. And we also have during those days like MySpace and blogging through Blogspot and WordPress. So those are the platform I use to promote my service. Whereas I provide how to teach mengaji and tajweed at the same time helping their children to complete their homework. So and I teach them Fardu Ain as well. So it's like 3 in 1. Wow. So Alhamdulillah, I managed to get several clients from Bangsa, from Kota Damansara and Sri Damansara. And from there, I managed to achieve around 1,200 per month just for teaching mengaji and home tuition. And during those days, 1,200 banyak weh. Right? And that was the first business that I did. And later on, I was persuaded by my senior, because during my first year, he was the president of SRC. So he became a great motivator outside when he graduated. He became a NLP guru. His name was Ahmad Fazli Yusof. So he invited me to become his co-writer. So please bear in mind, during my study in my secondary school, I am not a student that always complete their karangan. If you remember, subjek bahasa Melayu, karangan tak pun siap. So I am not a prolific writer. But nevertheless, the way he approached me made me very interested in writing. So I managed to write, if I'm mistaken, around 5 to 6 books in my final year. 5 to 6 books. And from there, I managed to gain my first almost 12,000 of royalty in my first year from writing books. So I wrote books and I sell my books, right? And those days, pardon?
Sorry, your books were in Malay or in English?
In Malay. So I wrote motivational books, and from there I become a facilitator for that particular consultant, which was arcade training. And whenever I graduated, I immediately worked with them as a partner. So for your info, I never have the experience of writing a resume or applying for jobs, going for job interview. Never in my life until today. Because when I graduated, I immediately involved in this training business. And after 2 years being a partner in arcade training, in 2009, I started my own company, which was Amin Idris Training Consultant. And later on, I wrote until now, I wrote almost 13 books. And my company from an enterprise company, I started to change to a Simber Heart company, which was Academia Magnet Success in 2016 until now. And my clients are, among others, all the ministries in Malaysia. And if among corporates like Honda, Toyota, Prolintas, what else? Lembaga Lebuh Raya Malaysia, Pizza Hut, and other corporate companies, I do training for them. So, and other than doing training and writing books, I also do training. I also do business in now. Right now, I'm doing in MLM business, which is Atomy, and yeah, that's in general what am I doing in my business. So I hope my short story inspire you that starting business, you must start from zero, and it's not easy. And how does it mean by not easy? I will tell you later. But back to you, our moderator, Dayang.
All right. So how about Sister Naja? Based on
Alright.
sorry, based on, sorry. Okay, that one. Continue.
Alright, okay. Okay, thank you, Dayang. Okay, first of all, Assalamualaikum, everyone. And then, Brother Amin, very
Yeah,
inspiring. Your
thank you very
sharing, very
much.
inspiring. Baru start, dah inspired. Alright, so my journey, for me lah, my journey, I start from since secondary school, for in Form 4, where I start with in fashion industry. I buat baju, blouse, and then I sell sampai 2016. And then I stopped because of, as we know, in fashion industry, the trend are very rapidly change. So I need to manage my study and my business. So we jump, we here is me and my family. We jump to food and beverages industry in 2016. So where we call Wow Kau Kau, and we have another outlet in Sungai Buloh. We call Prongs Box, as known as Prongs Box. Until now, Alhamdulillah, we established until now, and then baru-baru ni in this year, baru around 10 months, we start with selling face mask. The brand is Mascow. So yeah, basically my journey is different journey lah. Macam tu.
Understand? So different journey, but both very inspiring. We know from Brother Amin himself, he starts from just teaching other people and slowly gaining the confidence and slowly building up name. And for Naja from secondary school, who would have known? When I was in secondary school, I think I was busy not studying but something else. But my mom was not doing business, of course. So you did mention, Naja, you did mention your family was the one who were involved in your business and one who helped you to pursue in food and beverages industry. So can you tell us more on that? Who was your inspiration to start the business? Was it you yourself who loves fashion ever since secondary school? And what drives you to become an entrepreneur of who you are
Alright.
today?
Alright, okay. So my parents inspired me. They have their own company, printing company. Sebab memang dari kecil dibesarkan in business minded, so I inspired from them. And then why actually I like want to become an entrepreneur, because I want the freedom of time. I want to like, I don't like any commitment. Macam I don't like attachment with other people. So I can control my own life, my own career. And then as we know, entrepreneur, we can provide a big opportunity lah to others. We can provide peluang pekerjaan tu. And then why I want to become entrepreneur, because I want to enjoy my hobby. It's actually my hobby lah.
Wow, that's interesting. So you did mention it was fashion industry. So do you see yourself going back to fashion after this?
Maybe after I finish, I complete my degree, insyaAllah, next year. So maybe lah, the plan ada, tapi nak kena fokus tu lah satu-satu. Yeah.
Understand? Okay, so for Brother Amin, it was your friend who inspired you to write books before you were the kid who don't submit your homework from your sharing. So what was the inspiration? What was the inspiration for you to start teaching other kids, start writing your own books? How was it like for you?
Well, the reason why I started teaching home tuition, because I was desperate. That is number one. I was desperate to get some money. So I was thinking, what should I do? Luckily, my mom was a businesswoman. She's a beautician. So I forgot to tell you that when I was in my primary school, I loved to draw comic character like Spider-Man, Superman. Those days there was no Iron Man yet, but I love to draw all these 80s cartoons. So I create my own comics, which was around 4 to 6 pages, right? So I sell it for 50 cents during those days. So I realized that I have that mindset, I have that business attitude. That's why when I was desperate in having my own money, so I go for teaching home tuition. But nevertheless, why I entered UIA? Because I wanted to be a lawyer. For info, when I was in the matriculation center, my original course was human sciences. Among my lectures, like Dr. Wahabuddin, Ustaz Nasir, or we call him those days Ustaz Azazil. Who else? I was an HS student, but I changed my course to law because I wanted to be a lawyer. Why I wanted to be a lawyer? Because my father is a lawyer, so I was inspired to be like him. But as I continue my study in Gombak, I started to realize my passion is not being a lawyer. And the reason why I started to change my ambition from a lawyer to be a businessman, when my senior, which I mentioned just now, Haji Fazli Yusof, dia racun saya. He persuaded me, rather than being a lawyer, he said that why not I pursue by doing something that I love, and he gave me a book that inspired me a lot. It were two books. One is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen R. Covey, and another is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So the book, the Seven Habits, taught me about the attitude of being proactive. About a person must have begin from the end of mind, where we must think first thing first. We must have this win-win mentality, seek first to understand, to be understood, able to synergize with others, and also upgrade our skill, always sharpen the saw. That is about attitude. And about the business minded, when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, from there, I started to learn the meaning of liability. I started to learn the meaning of how to create business where we can be relaxed at home, and there's a system that will continuously generate income, right? That's a story about our traditional mindset, where usually our parents told us to go to university, study, and score the best. And when we graduated, apply, become a teacher, or a lawyer, or magistrate, or architect, so on and so forth, which is good, right? Rather than we pursue what we love, which become our passion. And when it become our passion, we love what we do. So no matter how difficult it is, no matter how tiring it doesn't matter. Why? Because we have the ability to do what we love. So these two options mentioned in Robert Kiyosaki. So from there, I started to think, because what I love to do during university, because I really love to involve with this student activism. I was active in SRC. I was active in law student society. I involved in this convocation program as a committee. Many program I involved, either inside and also outside the campus. So I was thinking, why not I create what I'm doing now, which is I love to organize programs, transform it into a business. So from there, I find out that wow, there's a business in motivation. There's a business in training. When we do talk, when we deliver a talk, and if the talk is very effective and according to the discipline of training, we can generate income. So from there, Alhamdulillah, I changed from the thing that I love into a business, and from there it become passion. So and Alhamdulillah, we do have challenges, which inshallah, to be asked later on, because if I answer now, then you will have no question to ask. So that is to answer your question. What inspired me to not being a lawyer, instead being a businessman?
Mhm. I see. I mean, the knowledge itself, when you say that you read books, it opens your mind to what are the
A
other
lot,
things that the world offer you. That's
a
the
lot.
importance of reading, basically.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's
Okay.
why, Dayang, one thing
Yes.
that I always remind students, we are what we read. We often heard that we are what we eat. Kalau kita kaki makan jajan, jajanlah perangai kita, right? But another quote that I want to share is, we are what we read.
We are
So
what we
what
read.
we read consistently, what we read all the time, it will define who we are. If we
Mhm.
love to read gossips, then we will become kaki bawang, right? But if we love to learn about self-help, we love to read about business, we love to read about marketing, it will define our mindset. So read and read, because it will define who we are.
Mhm. Thank you. That is very indeed powerful. What we are, what we read. Okay, so Brother Amin, some say that business success is determined by luck, nasib. Orang ni
Oh, all
berjaya,
right.
nasib dia lah. Rezeki dia, nasib dia nasib dia baik. Saya ni nasib biasa-biasa je. My luck is not that good. So, what is your take on that? Is successful business truly based on luck?
Well, do you ever heard about the meaning of decision? Decision derives from the word decide. And what's the meaning of decide? Decide comes from a Latin word, which is decide. So when combined, it becomes decide. And in English, we call it as decide. What's the meaning of decide? Decide means to cut. So can you imagine if this wire been cut, what it will happen? Orang Melayu panggil putus. Right? In Malay, we call it as putus. So decision in bahasa Melayu, it is called keputusan. So in business, we must be a person who make decision. Apa lawan kepada decision? Alright. What is the opposite of decision? Is giving excuse. Right. So if we give excuse, trust me, we cannot be successful in business or even in life. For example, if we keep on giving excuse because of this pandemic, because of this MCO, right? How can we do sale because PKPB? How can we do sale because of this COVID-19? We cannot survive in our business because of this virus. Trust me, you will end up sadaqallahul azim, right? You will end up nothing. But an entrepreneur, they must have this making decisions mindset. An entrepreneur who is proactive, they make decision rather than giving excuse. All right. So when we make decision, we will tend to look for solution rather than looking for other people for us to blame. All right. So those who depend on luck as well are those who always thinking of what to blame. For example, yelah nak macam mana aku tak reti. Can you see? Sebab itulah Najda berjaya, sebab dah nasib dia. Can you see? Alright. In business, there's no such thing as luck. Yeah, there will be a percent of luck, which is, for example, maybe 5% or maybe up to 10% at most, maximum. But 90% is about your decision. Because in life, there are those within our control and there are also those outside our control. Right? Those outside our control is like situation, and those within our control is our reaction. And believe me, 90% of our life depend on our reaction. For example, I wake up in the morning, I want to go to my office, and during my breakfast, I was having breakfast with my wife and my kids, and suddenly my kids tumpahkan air, pam, kena atas baju, alright, kotor, my shirt become tak boleh nak pakai lah. So I started to mumbling, right, bebel, and my kids starting to cry, and my wife, of course, sakit hati lah, kena marah. And because my children crying, nak pergi sekolah, dah bas sekolah tinggal. right? My wife don't have a license, so I have to send my children to the school. And in the middle of the journey, right, there was a traffic jam and arrived at school late, kena marah pula. And after I send my children, and I just remember, oh my God, I have a meeting. So I have to rush back to my office. So on the way, another jam. And I arrived at the office late. And some more, I left my laptop. What was the reason? A, is it because I tumpah? Or because of my reaction, apa dia? Bebel. I tumpah outside our control. We don't know I akan tumpah. But what is within our control? How do we react? Rather than kau bebel, what if kau ambil kain, lap meja, right? Go inside the room, tukar baju, continue with your breakfast, right? Anak nangis? No. Your wife sakit hati? No. Bas sekolah tinggal? Tak. Lewat ke sekolah? Tak. Lewat ke pejabat? Tak tinggal laptop? Tak. Why? Because we react correctly. We react accordingly. We focus on the thing within our control. All right? If we depend on luck, so whatever happen, luck is one thing. But more importantly is your reaction. All right? Pandemic, yeah, it is outside our control. MCO, outside our control. But how do we react? How do we react? It's within our control. So orang business, yeah, there is luck, but not much. But most importantly, you must be proactive, focus within your control, and make decision rather than giving excuses. Back to
Alright.
Dayang.
Alright, that's a very great thing lah. Macam because we see that luck is basically you deciding to put your mindset that your business is unsuccessful because of your luck and whatnot. So we learn a very important thing about decision. So what about from Najda's perspective? For you as a student yourself, right? I'm sure that not many of us we have money to start our own business and whatnot. So do you think money or business skills should come first upon starting our own business and whatnot?
Alright, okay. So for me actually, skill or money, right? Okay, for me, skill, of course, skill, because when we have skill, we can gain money. Okay. In business, okay, we have a lot of skill yang kita perlu ada dalam business. Okay, macam contoh, skill menjual, skill to convince people. So when we have those skill, like actually we can make money. And because as we know, there are so many platform yang ada business, ada brand yang offer business without using any capital. We can start from become a dropship agent, and yang the things yang saya perasan lah among student ataupun among beginners yang nak start business, diorang always eager nak jadi the brand of the brand, nak keluarkan brand sendiri, nak jadi brand owner, but dia tak try lagi untuk jual produk. Dia tak try lagi nak try jual produk orang dulu, but dia terus nak invest, ada duit 200 nak invest buat brand sendiri, produk sendiri, tapi kita tak tahu benda tu boleh dijual atau tak. So for me, skill, bila kita ada skill, kita boleh je use ada big brand yang meletup, yang top produk yang ada high demand, and then kita jual, kita gunakan skill yang kita ada. And for me, memang for me, I agree, skill is more important than money lah. So because bila kita ada skill, money tu boleh dapat lah. And as we know lah, kalau macam kita nak hire pekerja pun kan, so mungkin ada any student yang akan nak pergi interview kerja ke apa. So memang orang yang nak hire pekerja tu pun memang dia akan tengok skill.
True. I mean, another thing is you can start with what you have first. You know, like Brother Amin himself. You start with thinking, starting small with what you have. You don't have to not necessarily start business with money itself, you know, to sell stuff itself, right? You can start with whatever you have. And like Najda said, it's important for us to have the knowledge itself, to have the skills, sharpen our skills, because that will make us more sustained in this competitive world, you know. Without those skills, we will definitely give up easily, right? And we will not sustain like um, in this world. Okay, so for to all our viewers, if you have any question, you can type it at the comment section, and I will be sure to read it at the end of our show later, or maybe in between the questions we can include your questions. So feel free to write your questions or to ask our amazing guest tonight, Brother Amin and Sister Najda, whatever you want to ask them. Okay, so moving on to the questions that we all are waiting for. It's about challenges. So, Brother Amin, you can give us
My God.
one challenge and one small challenge. What would it be that you face throughout your journey as an entrepreneur? What would it be?
Before I answer that question, I just want to add a little bit regarding modal business mentioned by Najda just now. One of my seafood in business, and Ainun Muhammad, she's the founder of Ainun Business School. What the thing that I've learned from her is that mulakan dengan apa yang ada di tangan. Start with whatever you have in your hand, right? I started with only 50 ringgit in my hand doing training, right? And 150 ringgit. And what I bought a table from Giant, a computer table from Giant, right? And we with my partners, we ran space in an office. All right, there's a big office, so we rent a space. Okay, I just want to make it clear, we are not renting an office, we rent a space in an office. Right, so kita tumpang their phone number, kita tumpang their address, that's all. And we bought a printer just to print some handouts and our own business cards. So from there, we managed to gather some profits, and we took a little bit of our profits, around 50%, to roll for a bigger spending for the business as well, right? And Alhamdulillah, I am proud to tell you, until this moment, after almost 16 years in doing training business, I never ever applied for any loan in business. Alhamdulillah. Except for PTPTN je. Right? Itu pun kena gantung. Nampak tak? Pada muka. So, that is about business. So, please, for those who want to start their business, it does not necessarily for you to go to the bank and apply for loans just to start up a business. You may start small, all right? Yes, there are some business that you need a big capital. Some business, but not all right? So to start, you can start with any business that does not any big capital, okay? By the way, I just realized there's a comment from Fatin Nabila. She's from IIUM, and if you know her, Fatin Nabila, right? She's one of my staff in my company. Thank you, Fatin, for watching. Okay, so regarding your question about what are the biggest, what I call my challenges, is it?
Yeah, the big and the small challenge that you faced.
My small challenge. All right, let me recall. Okay, my small challenge when is how to get an invitation to do my talk, right? Because I started with schools, among secondary schools, primary schools. So for them to convince them to invite me, it is damn difficult, right? And they even asked me, who are you? And they asked me how much per hour. I told them 500 per hour. And they even asked me, they questioned me, who am I to be paid 500 per hour those days? And one of my unforgettable experience when I drove all the way with my second-hand car. I bought a second-hand car in Wara. Not second-hand. It's a third-hand. It's a third-hand because the owner bought it for second-hand. So I bought for third-hand. The price was around 4,000. So I managed to buy my first car without any debt. But yeah, it's quite challenging driving that car. For example, when I was stopping at the traffic light, I must maintain tekan min, or else my car mampus mati. Kena start balik. select bulan tak start langsung, right? And masa tu even the power window, if I'm pressing put it down, I must be very careful or else dia takkan naik-naik balik. So it's very difficult to manage my old car. So I have to drove all the way from Gombak to Pahang for 4 hours, all right? And the talk started at 8 in the morning until 5 evening. You know how much they paid me? They paid me with one piece of sijil penghargaan, appreciation apa nama sijil
Certificate.
certificate, right? Appreciation certificate. Lepas tu
Makan.
jam dinding. Makan pun tak ada. There was no lunch, there was no apa tu tea tak. Dia ada lunch time tapi penceramah tak disediakan makan. Kejam gila. And the gift was only satu saja penghargaan, alright, certification of appreciation and jam dinding. And jam dinding, when I went back, I just unwrapped the gift, alright. Buka-buka, I believe they forgot to take off the price tag.
Price tag.
And you know how much? RM6.90 jam dinding. Can you imagine how much I paid for my petrol, how much I paid for toll, and along the way pun belilah jajan sikit. I just received penghargaannya harga dia 30 sen, and then jam dinding RM6.90. My ROI was only RM7.20. Oh, jahat gila. But yeah, it is a priceless experience, right? Where it became a booster to me to brand myself so that people believe I worth their money. That time, when I said 500 per hour, people will question me. But now, if I mention my price, which is 2 per hour, right, there are no question anymore.
True.
Why? Because I brand myself, so people started to realize my brand, and now people does not question anymore about my value. But where does it started? That was the situation that boosted me to become who am I today. My biggest challenges was what else? Oh yeah, when I remember in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, or 2013, when ada fitnah, because I started to appear on TV in 2007, and in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, there was a fitnah where I was kept. There's a video. There's a scammer. They said that they want to invite me to deliver a training in Vietnam. Sorry, in Philippines. So they asked me to Skype so that we can discuss face to face. So I Skype with him, and during my Skype with him, after 10 minutes, he suddenly log out. So he disappeared, and I couldn't manage to continue the Skype. So I say, okay lah, maybe he will contact me later. And the morning later, all right, the day which is the day after, I received an email. There were 3 videos. First video, I was wearing nothing. Second video, I was in disco drinking liquor. And third video, I couldn't remember, but it was terrible. And believe me, even me myself, I almost believe that it is me. But what happened? I realized, because when I Google, I just realized that there was a systematic movement among scammers where they caught any victim on camera. So from there, they took my face. So they I don't know how they did it, but they put to another body. So I was shocked. I was shocked. And the first person I showed that video was my wife. So hilariously, when my wife saw the naked photo and they look into that private part, she looked into that private part and she said, "Ah, confirm bukan abang," because she know everything of me. If you don't understand, never mind. So from there, I reported to police, to the police. I reported to SKMM. I reported to YouTube, and yeah, Alhamdulillah, I managed to handle it. But it was very terrible, and I even thinking of my career will be destroyed, and it is the end of my journey. But Alhamdulillah, I've been supported by Bukit Aman. I've been supported by SKMM, and they managed to prove that that video was not me from their investigation. And the hikmah was, the year later, I was nominated in ABPBH, Anugerah Bintang Popular Berita Harian, under the category of host paling popular. So that was the hikmah, and yeah, that those were the two challenges that I faced in business. Thank you very
Understand.
much.
So we can see that people will do anything, to tarnish us, to take us down, basically, and we never know
Correct.
who. I mean, your intention was just pure to give motivational talk, to do what you love, but somehow people take advantage of that and use it to twist against you. It's a very huge challenge
Exactly.
for us. Maybe now I don't realize it, or maybe the young entrepreneurs, we don't see it, but when it's in the real world, when we grow our brand larger and larger, that's what we have to deal with. We have to become more careful per se. Maybe you become more careful after that, right? You become more
Tr-
selective in choosing.
Trust me, to all viewers, one day you will encounter with people that you never think they will become, and sometimes those that that are the closest to you sometimes. So that are among the challenges in business, because there are people outside there, they cannot see other people successful. So what are in their mind is only to see you fall.
True. Okay, so for Sister Naja, how about you? What is one of the biggest challenge that you face, and one of the one small challenge that you face in maintaining or doing your business, managing your business?
Alright, so for me personally, I think my challenges is my time. My time where, like, yeah, as student we need to manage between which one is more priority. Okay, I need to complete my study, and then I need to uh handle my business. But Alhamdulillah, I have a great team. My parents, my staff, my friends, they support me. So I think I can manage the challenges, but every day dalam business, every day akan ada je. Macam maybe kita akan rasa macam okay, tak ada sale ke, sale drop ke. So benda small thing tu as business owner, uh, kena bukan nak cakap okay, terima je hakikat tu. Yes, terima hakikat, but we need to fikir the next plan. Okay, kalau sale drop, apa kita kena buat? Kalau okay, macam pandemic datang, okay, what we need to do? So for me, langgar, bukan langgar, maksudnya harung je challenge yang datang tu, and then jangan pernah rasa down, sebab benda tu, itulah journey yang kita in business.
So when you talk about time is your challenge, you are struggling with your assignments, your quizzes, your student and whatnot. So how do you manage your time basically? Ada organizer ke, ada PA ke, how do you overcome the challenge of time for you?
Alright, okay. So, okay. Common question, macam mana nak manage time, study and business. Okay, for me, everyone lah, 24 hours, fairly kita akan dapat 24 hour every day. Okay, tak ada yang dapat hari ni saya dapat 25, orang lain dapat 24 je. Tak ada. Everyone fair. So, I manage my time intelligently, do what is priority as student. Okay, sejujurnya kalau kita as student pun 24 hours ke kita spend untuk study? No. Okay. For me, no. And adakah 24 hours we manage untuk struggle on business je? No juga. So, maybe kita akan adalah benda-benda yang kita limitkan, like macam hang out dengan kawan ke, watching movie ke, ataupun spend untuk gather dengan kawan-kawan ke kan. So benda tu kita, kalau kita rasa priority kita on that day is business, kita fokus on business. But if on that day, macam sekarang kita ada submission, struggle on submission week semua tu, so yang mana yang priority, kita fokus on that. And contoh, okay, 24 hours tu, 5 hours focus on completing your assignment, and then another the rest lagi 8 jam, 5 jam tu kita fokus on business. And then another mungkin weekend kita fokus on ourselves. So basically you sebenarnya as student you tahu, saya akan bukan nak marah lah, saya akan macam persoalkan bila orang kata tak sempat lah, tak ada masa lah. So sebab saya rasa okay, you ada 24 hours, I also have 24 hours. So how you manage and how I manage. Benda tu je. And sebab dua benda yang sama lah. Satu benda yang sama kita dapat dekat dunia ni adalah masa. So sama je semua. So try to mungkin nak terlalu enjoy I enjoy my study dengan kawan-kawan semua. But mungkin ada certain time kita kena struggle lah sekarang. Sebab I want better future. So I struggle sekarang. Dari sekarang I dah struggle.
So it's coming back to what Brother Amin shared to us earlier. It's about decision. You decide on how you want to use your time. If you keep on giving excuses, that's your decision to give excuses. But if you want to become successful, like you said, you want to have a successful future, hence you decide to struggle now because to have a better life in the future. So that's a very, very powerful sharing from the two of you. Okay, so we have a very interesting question from our guest, surprisingly, and I would like to hear from both of you. How do we maintain our interest and passion in doing business, and what kind of mindset should we have? From the two of you, what is your say on that? Siapa nak jawab dulu? I don't mind.
Najda, you want to answer first or you want me to answer first?
Boleh, brother. Go on.
Okay. Number one, we must make sure that we are clear on what we want. The problem among students who want to do business sometimes, or most of the times, they even don't know what they want to achieve. Maybe because they see others doing business, nampak we best lah, boleh beli iPhone lah, we power kan, guna MacBook kan. So they want to do business as well. But they themselves even don't know what they want to achieve. Because one of the things that sometimes all of us believe that we must have vision in our life. Kita kena ada matlamat. But we forgot to make sure that our vision is clear. Because I remember Bill Gates once said, when you have a clear vision, you don't even have time to take breakfast. When you have a clear vision, you don't even have time to take breakfast. What does it mean? Right. When we have a clear vision, we don't have time to waste time. You got it? Right? When we have a clear business, and some people ask me, why breakfast? Because out of all our meals, the most important is our breakfast. There's a say mentioned that when you eat breakfast, eat like a king. When you eat lunch, eat like a queen. When you eat dinner, eat like a slave. Means that when you eat like king, makan banyak lah. Right? Tibai tang darah pun tak apa. But when you eat lunch, control sikit. Eat like a queen. And when you eat dinner, eat like a slave. Tak banyak. Sikit-sikit. Right? But some people, asalkan boring je, makan. In the university. Lagi lah. Asalkan boring je, ngeteh. Asalkan boring je, lepak. Kalau brothers, asalkan boring je, okay, kita pergi makan Arab dekat Mahlah Farouk, for example. Right. Kalau asalkan boring je, okay, kita pergi makan nasi goreng kat Mahlah Ali. Sebab situ dalam murah banyak, for example. Right? Asalkan boring je, makan. Asalkan boring je, makan. Asalkan makan je boring. Akhir sekali, jadilah kita hidup untuk makan. Because we don't have a clear vision. But those who have a clear vision, they don't even have time to take breakfast. For example, those who are viewing now, right? Do you ever involve in maybe Converse or any program in university, all right, you are very busy, and your roommate say, "Jom pergi makan." Aku pergi makan dululah, right? So we are focusing on what we are doing, and after a while, you realize it's already 11 at night, and you just realize, oh, tak makan lagi. All right, why did you forget to take your lunch and your dinner? Because you are focusing in what you do. Why? Because it is very clear. You must submit it when, what are your programs, why does it meet, what does it organize? Because your vision is clear. When your vision is clear, your action gets easier. So number one, for Aimi Naziha, you must have a clear vision. When I say clear, it must be specific. Jangan kata, aku nak buat bisnes. Bisnes apa? Bisnes mah. Ialah apa dia? Keusahawanan. Ialah apa dia? Entrepreneurship. Ialah apa dia? Perniagaan. So you end up doing nothing. You got it? It's like when you go to KFC, the counter person asks you, nak makan apa dik? Saya nak makan yang sedap-sedap. Yalah apa dik? Yang sedap-sedap. Yalah apa? KFC. Kena lempang ada lah kan. They don't know what to give you because you don't have a specific answer. But if you said, I want to eat snack plate, original recipe, cheese wedges, banji. Very clear. So the sales girl, the counter person also know how to help you, and you even know how to budget, how much to pay that particular menu. So number one, you must have a clear vision, right? Because when you have a clear vision, you have a motivation. You have motive, you have action, right? Number two, is that you must have, you must be within the circle of the same interests, right? For example, like myself, I also involved in the circle among trainers like Datuk Fadila Kamsa, Datuk Tuku Asmadi, and also those newcomers in the motivation industry. So when we within this circle, in such a way, it inspires us to do a lot, and it gives us new ideas. All right. And number three, we must take criticism positively. We must take critics as a feedback. One of our biggest mistake is that when being criticized, kita koyak, right? No, don't koyak. Take it positively, right? How? By take it as a challenge to answer by our action. So we walk the talk. So by having a clear vision, all right, and being in the positive circle, and also taking criticism positively, inshallah, you are able to survive in business. All right. And one more thing in business, remember, when you start a business, the first 2 years is all about marketing, it's all about branding. It's not about makan untung lagi. I believe, Najda, you have been after so many years, bagulah boleh lah nak spend sikit lebih, nak bermewah sikit, right? One of the dosa besar in business among us, when we started business, baru dapat untung sikit dah beli iPhone.
Curi duit company sendiri.
And then curi duit company sendiri. You remember, even though you are the owner of the business, you tak boleh curi duit company.
Yes.
It is against ethic and also the law. Okay? And dia akan kantoi bila audit. Bila audit tak cantik, kan? Your financial report tak cantik, nak buat loan pun susah. You got it? So, yeah. That's all. Jadi bebel pula.
Sister Naja, how about you? How do we maintain our interest and passion in doing business? From your
Alright,
perspective?
okay. First of all, thank you, Aimi, for asking. Okay, I totally agree with Brother Amin. Okay, so first thing, doing business, jangan nak follow trend. Okay, semua buat business, semua keluarkan produk, semua keluarkan skincare. Nak jadi business owner, tak perlu nak follow trend. Bila kita ada passion, macam saya nak tanya sebenarnya, saya nak tanya balik Aimi. Betul ke ada passion in business? So bila kita ada passion, kita ada big why kita dalam big why kita nak achieve apa. So kita punya business tu pun kita akan struggle lah. Business tu kita nak achieve kita punya big why. So and macam mana kita nak maintain mindset kita as business owner bila kita ada big why, kenapa, and then kita ada idol. Maksudnya apa yang boleh buatkan kita untuk maintain business tu. Contoh, kita nak, in 5 years, nak ada kereta sendiri. Another 10 years, okay, nak ada rumah sendiri. So, bila kita ada goals tu, kita akan keep on always remind, okay, aku tak boleh give up. Okay, aku kena buat lagi. And then, saya nak suggest lah to everyone, to viewers yang kena tulis ataupun kena always ada goals in life. Tulis, kalau boleh tulis. Okay, esok nak achieve apa, next month nak achieve apa, so that you will maintain you punya mindset tu nak jadi successful entrepreneur tu. So and jangan pernah rasa like entrepreneur adalah orang yang paling hebat. So kalau semua
Okay.
Sister Najda accidentally left
I think
the
her
internet
phone
kan.
is out of battery. Either internet atau habis bateri.
Bila tu, alamak. Tapi basically,
Okay.
I think what Najda is trying to share with us tonight is for us to have a goal in life, you know, because it will help us to keep on momentum. I know if Brother Amin have a session, he can talk a lot of motivation, a lot of having goal. We will stay here live another 1 hour talking about motivation itself. How powerful is it to have a goal? But basically, I'm sure our Sister Aini already get the gist of it. Both speaker, both Brother Amin and Sister Najda emphasize on having a clear vision or on having a goal, a mindset that will help us to drive us and keep our momentum. So I guess
Correct.
it is a very fantastic sharing tonight. Thank you so much to Brother Amin and Sister
My
Najda for the
pleasure.
sharing tonight. I personally learned a lot, and I'm sure all our viewers will and the young entrepreneurs out there are inspired to be on the path of a successful entrepreneur. So before we end, I would love to hear a last word from Brother Amin before we wrap our show for today.
Okay.
Last word.
All right. Inshallah, I think Sister Najda will be back very soon to summarize her sharing.
All right.
In business, number one, as mentioned by Sister Najda just now, we must not do business because of following trend, right? Najda, I think you may continue what you have been talking just now. I rasa
Yeah.
zalim bila tak bagi ruang tu Najda.
Okay,
Tak puas
tak,
Najda.
just dah last word dah tadi, yang just nak cakap yang kalau like everyone jangan nak rasa entrepreneur tu, I recommend untuk semua orang jadi entrepreneur, but jangan rasa macam entrepreneur tu adalah hebat. So siapa yang akan jadi cikgu, siapa yang akan jadi doktor, siapa yang
Yes.
akan jadi polis kalau semua orang nak jadi entrepreneur. Yeah.
Correct.
So jangan force yourself untuk jadi business owner.
And I truly agreed with Sister Najda, because some people, they want to be business owners sebab apa? Nampak macu, kan? Nampak hebat. Business is like, do you ever observe a duck swimming, right? When a duck swimming, you can see on the surface, wow, very smooth. But if you look deep into the water, kaki dia guru kan? Kelang kelibut. The same thing goes to business entrepreneurs, right? Businessmen, businesswomen. You can see outside in their social media, kereta lawa siut, iPhone, MacBook. Dahsyat, baju dia branded, LV ke benda semua coach kan. Well, that is among the price, that is among the result that they have. But in order to achieve what they achieve, they have to pay for the price. What are among the price they have to pay? They have to suffer. Sometimes they don't have enough sleep, and sometimes, like those working as teachers, like those who are working as lecturers, at least they have a fixed income every month. But entrepreneurs, we may have our fixed income every month, but believe me, when there's problem, it will terribly affected. For example, during MCO, during COVID-19, during the first phase of MCO during March, April, and May, I was suffering. I couldn't imagine where we have zero income in a month, for 3 months, zero income, right? And it pushed me to innovate in training. So remember, my humble advice, number one, do business when you have a clear reason, a clear vision why you want to do business, not because of following others. Number two, you must determine what are the niche that you want, right? Because every business dia kena ada niche. Kita tak boleh bantai semua. Prepaid pun dia buat, jual burger pun dia bantai, kereta sewa pun dia buat, semua benda dia tibai. They don't have any focus. At the end, you cannot all out in either of the business, so you have compromised the quality. So when you compromise quality, you have no quality in your delivery, there will be no trust among the customers. And when there's no trust, people will not willing to pay, even though it is very cheap. So you must gain the trust. So how to gain trust? You must maintain the quality. How to gain quality? You must focus, right? So you must determine what the niche of your business. And number three, there are people who have good product, but they have lack knowledge of business management. There are people who can manage business, but they don't have good product, right? And another is they have lack of management business. They may not have a good product, but they are good in marketing. My point is that if you have a good knowledge about business management and you have good product and you are good in marketing, inshallah, you can be successful. It may not be within 10 years, maybe faster than 10 years or 5 years or 3 years, but your opportunity will be more bigger. And last but not least, I would like to quote a quote from Denzel Washington. He said that without commitment, you never start, and without consistency, you never finish. Right? And ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. I repeat, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. It means that if you want to do business and you're expecting everything to be easy, come on, you are in the wrong path, right? So in doing business, you must face hardship, and in doing business, you must have commitment and you must have consistency, all right? So that's all. Thank you for IIU TV for inviting me. I wish you all the best. And back to you, Dayang, and to Najda. It is a great honor to know you tonight.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Brother Amin. So we know that commitment and consistency will lead to the two C are the key for us becoming successful entrepreneurs. Najda, last word, please.
Alright, okay. So, for me, for yang baru nak start, anyone yang baru nak start in business, grab any opportunity yang depan mata, start with what you have. Jangan nak fikir, okay, esok, no. Start with what you have, grab the opportunity. Nampak masalah. Bila kita start business ni sebenarnya bila kita try untuk settlekan any masalah. Contoh for me, I nampak masalah yang kita ada sekarang adalah tentang pandemik ni, face mask, sanitizer, semua benda ni lah. So, grab the opportunity, start. Okay, kita nak try solution adalah dengan menjual benda tu. Macam I start dengan F&B pun sama. Masalah yang kita ada everyday adalah nak makan kat mana. So, masalah. So, I try untuk bagi solution lah untuk anyone yang ada masalah tu. So, sesiapa saja yang baru nak start, try start dengan apa yang kita suka, and then start dengan apa yang kita ada. And then, for me, everyone are different, and everyone different, and what you do determine who you are in future.
So what you do determine who you are in the future. That quote wraps up our live show for today. Thank you to all our audience for tuning in tonight. We thank you everyone. Your presence and support means a lot to In Living Campus. Thank you, Brother Amin. Thank you, Najda.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you
I know entrepreneurs, time is money. So thank you very much for spending almost an hour with us to to this session. I'm sure everyone is inspired and very motivated upon listening to this show. So before we end, I would like to take a moment to give a short speech, because not only this is the last episode of In Living Campus for 2020.
Oh,
this
really?
this is our last episode. We'll have another
My
one more
God.
episode next year. So bye-bye 2020. Apart from that, this is my final episode as a host. It has been a wonderful 1 year experience with IIUM TV. Alhamdulillah, I am very grateful and blessed with this opportunity. I would love to continue to discover and learn more about hosting, but I'm sure there are many more hidden talents in IIUM who would love to be in my position today, and I would love everyone to experience what I gained throughout this 1 year. So thank you so much to the director of IIM TV, Mira. She is always at the back behind the scene. She's the one who managed all these live stream shows. So thank you, Mira, for the opportunity and for appointing me as the host. Thank you to my producer from In Living Campus, Akila, for trusting me and choosing me as your host. My co-host, Shafa, she will be hosting the last episode of In Living Campus next year. To all the In Living Campus crew, thank you so much. We have Amma, Kausa, Damia, Linda, Najwa, Fakira, Zohini, Marunan. Without all of you, we will not be having our episode today. And not to forget my amazing guests, Brother Amin, Sister Najda, and all the guests that I had been host with ever since the first episode. Thank you so much. And last but not least, to all my family and friends who are watching, who are supporting me, thank you so much for your love and your support and watching me throughout my journey as a host. May Allah bless each and every one of you. I think that is all from me. That is all for tonight. Till we meet again. Thank you, Brother Amin. Thank you once again, Sister Najda. We appreciate your
You're
presence.
welcome.
Thank you so much. All the best to you. All the best for your
All right.
business. All the best to In Living
Inshallah.
Campus. Inshallah. So that's all from us. Bye 2020. Bye In Living Campus. Dayang officially signing off. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all 2000. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Been the best Ramadan for me. Alhamdulillah.
Finding your confidence with the grade.
One of the orang tak tahu pasal sampah yang ada di landfill.
Satu tarikh yang diterima oleh umat Islam.
Minatkan muzik, tapi Afi ni dia macam main lagu ganas-ganas.
Tapi kan, contoh-contoh wanita yang berjaya.
Yes.